Hello, teacher Adam. Welcome to my math class. Today I'm going to solve October-November variant 2 2024. It's one of the Igcse extended math paper. Welcome. So we're going to start from question number 1. Hello, champion. Welcome to my math class. I'm going to solve an Igcse extended paper. I'm starting with question number 1. These are the first 8 terms of a sequence. So we automatically understand that it comes from the topic of sequence. And then this unit is obviously it's not geometric, so this is arithmetic. It's arithmetic because we don't have common ratio here. Yeah, so we have numbers listed: U1 first term, second term, U3, U4, and then U5. Therefore, to find, because we don't have common ratio, to find common ratio, obviously we take U3 divided by U2 should be equal to U4 divided by U3, which you obviously find it's not there. Therefore, this sequence is not geometric, but it is arithmetic. By doing what? If we take our U4 minus U3 should be equal to U3 minus U2. Let's find that to find common for common difference. So difference is U4. What is our U4? Negative 15 minus 9. What do we get as common difference? Negative 15 plus 9. So common difference is we get as negative 6. Correct. So we've got a negative 6 as a common difference. So to get our first term, we know that this U2 is equal to the first term U1 plus the common difference. So our U2 is negative 3. Our U1 we don't know, but we have our common difference, which is minus 6, so plus negative 6. So this is negative 3 is equal to U1, which is C, plus negative 6. So negative 6 goes the other side to make C the subject. It will be, to make C the subject, so the first term, which is U1, will be negative 3 plus 6, which is 3. So obviously here you get 3. Therefore, but to get K, you take negative 3 plus the common difference, which is negative 6. Therefore, you say negative 33 plus the common difference, which is negative 6. So our answer, when when positive follows negative, the resultant is negative. So negative 33 minus 6 is negative 39 as the value of K. So obviously we understand that we'll take negative 33, which is the number, plus the common difference, which is negative 6. And when negative follows, when positive follows negative, the resultant is negative. So negative 33 minus 6 is negative 39, which is the answer there. The next question, this comes from the topic of geometry. Wow. So here we're talking about geometry. The diagram shows an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle, one property is it has two sides that are equal and two base angles are equal. Therefore, if this is 43, this angle is also 43 degrees. So two base angles are equal and two sides are equal. If two sides are equal and the two base angles are equal, therefore you say 180 degrees minus 43 degrees times 2. Therefore, you say 180 minus 86 degrees, whereby you end up getting 94 degrees as the value of X. Question number 3, we come to this question number 3. They test from the unit of number system. So here we need to know types of numbers. So by you knowing the types of numbers, you'll be able to solve this question correctly. What's a natural number? So we have 0.25, 3.14, 2, root 3, negative 3, 24, negative 0.4, 1.2, negative 1, and negative a quarter. So a natural number, we say a natural number is any positive whole number. Therefore, you just take any positive whole number. We have 24. Wow, perfect. Any positive whole number is the answer. And then is an irrational number. What's an irrational number? We say an irrational number is any number that cannot be written as a fraction. That means cannot be written in the form of a over b. Any number that cannot be written in the form of a over b is called an irrational number. So for example here, obviously irrational number will be the square root of numbers that are not square. Root 3, so this is our answer. Square root 3. Then reciprocal of 4. The term reciprocal, it means the opposite of 4. The fraction of this number. The fraction of 4 is 1 over 4. So 1 over 4 in decimal is 0.25. And you get your answer. So just knowing reciprocal, say reciprocal is the inverse of a number. 5 reciprocal, it means 1 over 5. Reciprocal is the same as 5 inverse. And then 6 inverse is the same as 1 over 6. So you see, this is the fraction. So, you know, if you take a number times its reciprocal, you get 1. Question number 4, the scatter diagram shows the number of rooms. We have the number of rooms and the number of people in each of 8 buildings. So we have here number of rooms on your y-axis, and then we have number of people on the x-axis. One of the building has 67 rooms. Write down the number of people in this building. Okay, so one of the building has 67 rooms. So one of the building has 67 room. So okay, so if it has 67 room, we need to find an estimate so that we know the number of people. So what you do basically, it's easier. You obviously go, you can draw 67 room, just and you need to know the scale. So what's our scale? We can count our scale. Let's say this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 represent 10. So it means each 2. So 62 number of rooms, 62, 64, 66, 67. So it means it's at the center here. So let's get a line. Let's draw a line that is going to take us from the center. 1, 2, 3. Then at the center here. Yes, 67. Where does it go? It goes up to there. Perfect. Then if you draw here, where do we get? Obviously, correct. So if you go up to there, that means our scale will be 1, 2, 3. Correct. 76. That becomes our answer. Number of, so if the number of room was 67, number of people will be how many? 76. Correct. So we get that answer as 76. Then we go to, in another building there are 42 people and 33 rooms. On the scatter diagram, plot this point. We have a line here. So 42. Oh my God. So this is our answer. So our point will be here at the center. This is the point. This is a point 42, 33. Correct. Then the next question, we get a mark there. So you get a mark, you get a mark there, you get a mark there. We have 2 marks. And then on the scatter diagram, draw a line of best fit. What's a line of best fit? Is a line that contains the maximum number of points. Yeah, so it's a line that is even. So we look here, how many points do we have? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a line of best fit should be a line that contains the maximum number of points. Should be a line that contains the maximum number of points. So we can have, when you draw our line of best fit here, it's easier to get our line of best fit because it's not a big issue. So that's a line of best fit. So from our line of best fit, what do we say? They say from our line of best, so we have drawn our line of best fit, and then we say we get a point that for drawing a line of best fit, there are 45 people in a different building. Find an estimate for the number of room in this building. Now here, we use our line of best fit that we've drawn from the question above. So we use our line of best fit using a line of best fit. Find an estimate. Yeah, using the line of best fit, find an estimate. So we go to the line of best fit. We go to the line of best fit, and then we find an estimate up to there, and then we get how many. They say, yep. So there are 45 people in a different building, and then find the number. So we say there is 30. We have gotten as 30. So how many rooms? There are 30. Find an estimate for the number of rooms. 30 rooms. So there are 30 rooms. What type of correlation is shown in the scatter diagram? It's positive. because it's moving from bottom left to the top right. Positive correlation. And you get another mark there. This is always called free mark. Next question. Convert 7.51 square meters into square centimeters. This is in the unit of measurement. And in the unit of measurement, this is mostly on the unit of measurement. So, and it's not a big deal. Topic of measurement. So here we need to know how to convert. So we know 100 centimeter represent 1 meter. So if you square this, you get 10,000 square centimeter represent 1 square meter. So we have 7.51 square meters. So if you want to convert them into square centimeter, what you just need to do, you take 7.51 times 10,000 square centimeter, and you get your answer. So you get your answer as simple as it is. Take 7.51 times that, you get 75,100 square centimeter. You get your correct answer. The diagram shows a trapezium. This is the topic of mensuration. This is the topic of mensuration, whereby area of solids, 2D shapes, 3D shapes, as go on, finding the volume. So here we're talking about trapezium. Made of a trapezium is simple. Area is a half A plus B, this which is the length, this one, and this one's the shorter length and longer length, A plus B, and then times the vertical height. This is the height, which is equal to 9. So just say area is a half into A is 9.5 plus X, and then times the height, which is the height is 6, times the height, which is 6, 6, but they say the area is 42, so you equate it. So 42 square centimeter is equal to a half into 9.5 plus X, a half 6. So a half of 6 is 3. Therefore, you say 3 into 9.5 plus X, close the bracket, is equal to 42. And then what do? You say now 42 is equal to 3 times 9.5 times 3. 9.5 times 3 is, we get 28.5 plus 3x. Then take this the other side. We say 42 minus 28.5 is equal to 3x minus 42 is equal to, so you get 13.5 is equal to 3x. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Therefore, x is equal to, divide by 3, x is equal to 4.5. Correct. Without using a calculator, work out. So this is in topic of number system. Numbers. Number system, the unit of fraction. So here we're talking about fraction. In fractions, addition, division. So we are in division. So we say without using a calculator, work out. So 2 over 7 divided by 6 over 11. And you must show all you are working and give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. These are the key examiners areas that you need to know as a candidate. So we know division turns to multiplication. So you say 2 over 7. Then the second fraction, the denominator becomes the numerator, and then the numerator becomes you swap 11 over 6. Immediately you do this, you can now go to the next step, because they say without using calculator. So times 11 over 6, then 2 here, 1, 3, cancel. Then you get 11 out of, so 11 times 1 is 11, 7 times 3 is 21. As simple as it is, you get your marks correctly. Question number 8, you say the diagram shows a parallelogram. Work out the size of the smallest interior angle of the parallelogram. So within this, we say this is geometry, and the unit of angles within 3D shapes. So this is, we're talking about 3D shapes. So parallelogram. Parallelogram is on quadrilaterals. So here we're talking about quadrilaterals. So summation of quadrilaterals. So we say, when you say a parallelogram has two pairs of parallel lines, we have this is A, which is also A, and then we say B, B. So it has two pairs of parallel lines. So there's one principle. If you have angles within the parallel lines and they are at the bottom like this one, so this is angle A and B, we say this summation of angles between the two parallel lines in parallelogram are supplementary. That means angle A plus angle B should add up to 180 degrees. In that sense, we say 132 minus 2x plus 15 plus 5x should be equal to 180 degrees. Then collect like terms. 132 plus 15 minus 2x plus 5x should be equal to 180 degrees. And then 132 plus 15, it's 147 minus 2x plus 3x, that will be plus 3x, which is 180 degrees. Then take 147 the other side, collect like terms. 3x is equal to 180 minus 147. Therefore, 3x is equal to 33. Then divide by 3, divide by 3. X is equal to 11. Correct. You get your answer as 11. After getting that, because they asked us to find what is the size of the smallest interior angle of the parallelogram. So we want to find which one is the smallest interior angle of the parallelogram. So you can put the value with inside one of it, because we have found the value of x. So if the value of x is 11, therefore test. So we go to the question, to the rule there. It says 15 plus 5 times 11. So it's 15 plus 55. What do you get? You get 70. The other one will be 132 minus 2 times 11. So your answer will be, so this is angle A, we say. Denominator is angle A, and then angle B is 132. This is angle B. 132 minus 22. What do you get? You get as, yes, 110. So which one is the smallest angle? The smallest angle will obviously be 70. Therefore, our answer, the smallest angle is 70 degrees. You get your 4 marks like that. Very simple. Then we go to question number 9. Point A, so we have a circle. So this is, it can be circle theorem. So point A, B, C, and D lie on a circle. So A, B, C, D, they're points we can call locus of points within the circumference. And ABCD is a square with area 72 square centimeters. So ABCD is with area. So calculate the area of the circle. To find the area of the circle, you need to find what? You need to find the radius. That's clue number 1. To find the area of the circle, we need to know the radius. And we say the ABCD is a square with area. So the area of the square is 72. And we know a square, its length and length. So area of a square is side square. And 72 is equal to side square. Find square root of that to get side. So the side is square root of 72. What's the square root of 72? Square root of 72 first is 6 root 2. So the side is 6 root 2, which is the same as 8.5. So 6 root 2, that's the side. Then calculate. So we have our length here as 6 root 2. And then we say calculate the area of the circle. Calculate the area of the circle. Give your answer as a multiple of pi. So they want the area of the circle. So we know, we actually understand, go up. We actually understand that we have 6 root 2 as our side. So here it's 6 root 2, and this one has 6 root 2. So when you have a square, a square has all sides equal. Like all the sides are equal in a square. And this is 6 root 2, and then this is 6 root 2. How are we able to get the radius? Obviously, we know that we have diagonals. A diagonal here is the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle. So here we use the concept of Pythagoras theorem. We know that to get hypotenuse is the same as c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. You square the base times the height. So c squared, what will be our base? Our base is 6 root 2 square plus 6 root 2 square. Then to get the c square, so 6 root 2, what's the 6 root 2? We know 6 root 2 square. What is it? It's 72. So we have 72 plus 72, then find its square root to get C. So C is the square root of 72 times 2, which is 144. So C is square root of 144. So to get C, which is the hypotenuse, which is the same as the diameter, which will be the same as the diameter of the circle. So that will be point AC. That will be 12 centimeter. So we actually now understand that our diameter is 12 centimeter, because what we're talking about is either this diagonal, we have this diagonal, or we get this diagonal. So both of them work. So we have 6 root 2, 6 root 2, and they're all meeting at the center. So the diameter, this AC, DB or AC, they are the diameter of the circle. But they come from the triangle right angle triangle ABC, or right triangle ADC, or DCB. They both have, we only have two diagonals, DB or AC, which is the diameter. So these two here, they are diameter. They are diameter of the circle, but they are the hypotenuse of the right angle triangles at the angles here. They are the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle. Correct. So after knowing that, so we now know area. Obviously, now finding area is not an issue. Area is simple. It's pi r square. The area, calculate the area of the circle. Therefore, pi times radius. We now know diameter is 12. What will be the radius? Diameter divided by 2. So 12 divided by 2 is 6 centimeter. Therefore, multiply by 6 squared. So pi times 36, which is 36 pi square centimeter. That's the answer. You get your answer, you just write as 36 pi. They say leave your answer in terms of pi. Calculate. This is very simple. So this is number system. Numbers. Number system. It is in the topic of solving. It's not a big issue. So what do you do here? Just you can use principle of exponent. So we have root 3, 1 plus, we have 10.9 times 0.4 square. Now we can put board mass, and then, but no, we have to start with exponent first. So we have 10.9 times 0.4. What's 0.4 square? 0.4 square is 0.16, so 0.16. Then after getting this, multiplication first before addition. So 10.9 times the answer, what do you get? You get 1.744. Then you say 1 plus 1.744, or you can as well use calculator directly. 2.744. Then find square root, just like using this approach, so that you know how they do it. If you don't know how to use, then you say shift. On your calculator there is shift button. So if you press shift and the cube root symbol at the same time, you will have that shift and cube root symbol. You will have this 3 cube. You'll have something like that, 3 cubed. So what you do now, you say cube root. Cube root, it has to be there. So cube root 2.744. We get your answer as 1.4, which is the answer. Free mark. Factorize fully. This is in the unit of algebra. Factorization. This factorization means you look for common factor between the expression. Like you look for which one number divide both of them, which is common. We have x and x here. We have x and x, and then 3 can divide both of them. Yeah, 3 can divide both of them. So we have 3. We can say 3x into 8x minus 3y. Correct. That's the answer, final answer. So your answer is 3x into 8x minus 3y. You get your 2 marks. Then the next question here, we have 63x squared minus 28y squared. It's a square. This is called a difference of 2 squares in. So first of all, you look for a common factor. between the two expressions. The common factor here will be 7. So you say 7 outside will be 9x squared minus 4y squared. Then later on, this is where difference of two square happen now. Here it can be a plus b, a minus b. So in that case, we say 7 into bracket, square root of each. Square root of 9x squared, you get 3x minus 2y, and then 3x plus 2y. Then close the bracket. Therefore, your answer will be 7 into 3x minus 2y, then 3x plus 2y. Then you close the bracket. That's the answer. Wow, correct. Then next question number 2. This is simple. Algebra again. And the branch of variation. We can say direct proportion, or some books say called direct proportion, unit direct proportion. So what do we do in that case? Y is directly proportional to the square root of. So this is where the terminology is. Y is directly proportional. Y is directly proportional. The examiner tricks. So we say Y is directly proportional to the square root of x plus 1. We cannot say this is equal. Introduce constant k. Y is equal to k square root x plus 1. Correct. Therefore, when y is 10.5, x is 8. So 8 plus 1. Then 10.5 is equal to k square root 9. Therefore, 10.5 is equal to 3k. So divide by 3, divide by 3. What do we get? Scroll down. You get k is equal to 10.5 divided by 3. So you get k as 3.5. After finding k as 3.5, you go back to the rule. Remember, say y is equal to 3.5 square root x plus 1. They say find y when x is 1.56. That's easy. So y is equal to 3.5 root 1.56 plus 1. That means y is equal to 3.5 square root. 1.56 plus 1 is 2.56. So y is equal to 3.5 times 1.6 multiplied by 1.6. So y will be 3.5 times 1.6. What do you get? You end up getting 5.6. Correct. So our answer is 5.6. This is how you do, champion. Next question here. Question 13. This is if you see Cartesian plane. Anything that deals with Cartesian plane is either you're talking about inequalities or coordinate geometry. So those two, or maybe you're talking about statistics, plotting. So say the region R satisfies this inequality. So here they want us to show the region R. So we say -3, understanding the inequality now, -3 is less than y. So we go to -3 is less than y. So where we have -3, we can draw -3 here. Yeah. So we say -3 is less than y. So we understand that, we automatically understand, and y is, at least, so -3 is less than y, and y is less than or equal to 2. So we have a full booted line at 2. So at 2 here, we have a full line. Means it gives us y is equal to 2. Yeah, so we have that. We need to have a solid line here at y is equal to 2, because this shows it's part of solution. That's a mark. If you show that by using a ruler, you don't have a ruler here, you get a mark. And then it says y -3 is less than y. -3 is less than y. Therefore, you go to -3, you use with dotted line. Just go that, you get a mark too. Because -3 is less than, -3 is less than, so it's not part of the solution. So you draw that. So we have shown that. And then say y is less than. So we say y -3 is less than y. So we have, it means this region. And then we say y y is less than or equal to x minus 1. Now, there are two rules here. One, I'll teach you the local one. The easier one, you say, we go, so you say y is less than or equal to x minus 1. So we can say y is equal to x minus 1. So we can assume when x, let's say we can have our own table. When x is 0, what is y? When x is 1, what is y? What is y? When x is 0 here, y is negative 1. When x is 1, y is 0. When x is 2, because when x is 0, it's negative 1. When x is 1, it's 0. When x is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. When x is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. So let's plot that. So we have 0, negative 1. So we have 0. We have 0, negative 1. So we can have this point. We have 1, 0. At 1, we have 0. And then we have at x2 is 1. At x2 is 1. And then we have at x3 is 2. At x3 is 2. Therefore, because it's y is less than or equal to, so it's also full bulleted, you draw with a full line. We draw it with a full line. Obviously, we get something like this. Yes, this is what we have as our diagram. Now, when you have this diagram, now we have shown, remember, they say, by drawing a suitable straight line and shading unwanted region, find and label the region R. So y is less than or equal to x minus 1. So if you look by testing method now from the diagram, let's find a region, unwanted region. This is unwanted region. This is unwanted because the top is wanted region. Then they say y is greater than or equal to 2. So it means this region is not there, but the region on top is wanted. We need to find a point that satisfies the given inequality. Whenever we're given with our inequality, we need to look for values that will give us the correct answer. So what do we do in that case? We go back to the question there. We have our inequality. We say find point. Let's say we find this point here. Let's say by testing, let's just get a point here. If you use a point here, like say 2, 2, negative 1. If you use that point 2, negative 1, what basically do you understand? So if you use this point 2, negative 1, obviously, if you put it in your equation, will it give you the right value? When y is negative 1, should be less than or equal to the value of x, which is 2 minus 1. Negative 1 is less than or equal to? Yes! 2 minus 1 is 1. Correct, it's true. But if you use the point on top here, let's say 1 and 1. If you put it on this inequality, you say 1 is less than or equal to 1 minus 1. It will be 1 is less than or equal to 0. This is not true. So the region, the wanted region is this one. All the values here within these two boundaries, they satisfy the inequality. So you can as well shade the way you want unwanted region and remain with this part. This is the part that satisfy all the points within here. If you use them, they'll satisfy all your two inequalities. Correct. Question 14 say, the diagram shows the speed time graph for 17 seconds of a car journey. Find the acceleration of the car during the first 10 seconds. So in this question here, it's a distance time graph. Normally here now we're having speed. So this is distance time graph which has speed and time seconds. So it's talking about acceleration, the rate of change. So in the rate of change, you just need to find the area below the line. So you're finding the area of this and the area of this to get anything that you're told to calculate. But now here they say the diagram shows the speed time graph for 17 seconds of a car journey. Scroll, then find the acceleration of the car during the first 10 seconds. That's easy. So you find the area of the first one, area of a right angle triangle, a half base times height. So you say a half times base, which is 10 seconds, times the height, which is 20 meters per second. When you multiply these two, you get 100 meters per squared second. And then the area of the rectangle here, 17 minus 10 is 7, and then you have 20 meters per second. So area is length times width, and then you say 20 meters per second times 7 seconds. What do you get? You get 140 meters per squared second. Then the total area should be equal to the total acceleration. Total area of A and area of B is equal to the acceleration. Therefore, you say 100 meter per square second plus 140 meters per squared second is equal to the total acceleration, which will be 240 meters per squared second. That's your answer. Next question. At the start of an experiment, there are 40,000 bacteria. The number of bacteria increases at a rate of 15% per hour. Calculate the number of bacteria after 3 hours. So at the start of an experiment, so in this case, it's a very simple question too, because we're majorly tested on rate. So here they just want us to see if we understand about compound. So this is mostly, it's in the unit of compound interest. So it's mostly majorly on population, change in population using our compound formula, whereby it's always equal to, principal is equal to 1 plus r power n, 1 plus r power n. So these normally the rate should be out of maybe something, 1 plus r power n. So what do we do in that case? At the start of an experiment, there are 40,000 bacteria. The number of bacteria increases at a rate of 15% per hour. So 15% for every hour. So it means now, calculate the number of bacteria after 3 hours. What do you do? Just say amount is equal to P into 1 plus rate power n. So which amount? Amount we don't know. Principal we know, it's 40,000. And then 1, because 100% plus 15. So 15 out of 100, which is the rate, out of 100, power the number of hours, that's duration, 3 hours. So we want to see how many there will be there. So it's obviously it will be 1.15 power 3 times that. Using our calculator, we say 40,000 times 1.15 power 3. What do you get? You get 60. You get 60,835. And that's it, because calculate the amount, our answer will be 6,835. You get as simple as it is. Question number 16. 75 people are asked if they have a car, C, and if they have a job, J. The Venn diagram shows the results. So the Venn diagram, in a Venn diagram, it shows, like, the rectangle shows universal set, and the overlapping circles, they show individual sets like C and J. At the center is intersection. This one is set C and CJ. 2 is complement of C and J. So a person is chosen at a random from those who have a car. So for those who have a car, find the probability that this person also has a job. So this person can have a car and also has a job. So it's obviously probability. At a probability, we look at the number of chance. This will be talking about intersection, because we're talking about C intersecting J, having a car and having a job at the same time. So it's C and J, which is shown at the center, which is 51. This is the number of chance, number of people who, those who have car and job at the same time. Therefore, and then we go to probability. Probability of an event is equal to number of possible outcome. No of chance divided by total outcome. Therefore, so probability is equal to no of chance divided by total outcome. Therefore, probability is no of chance 51 divided by 75. So 51 divided by 75, what do we get? We get 17 out of 25. That's the answer. You get that as your answer. So our answer will be 17 out of 25. It's because probability of an event is equal to no of possible chances divided by total outcome. Good. So in the unit of circle theorem, A, B, and C are points on the circumference of a circle with center O. DA and DC are tangent to the circle. Angle ABC is equal to 64. Work out the value of x. This is very simple. Work out the value of x. So we have 64, angle 64 here. And then we understand that if this angle is 64, the angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference, because they are covered by the same chord AC. We have this arc, we have arc AC, or you have an imaginary chord here. An imaginary chord AC. I can say, let me draw it so that it can look like a chord. So we have an imaginary chord here. So we have this, and this is arc. So this, we have arc AC closes that. We have arc AC which closes that, and we have that chord AC. Therefore, so 64 times 2, 64 times 2 is 128. 128. Therefore, work out the value of x. To get the value of x, this is simple. Remember, this one and this one, they are supplementary. Yeah, they are supplementary. So here we're talking about we have angles in a circumference. So we in a circle. So we have this angle 64. We say angles that are subtended by the same arc AC at the center are twice. So you say 64 times 2. So this is the center. 64 times 2, you get 128. But we know now we have a shape here, ADCO. We have ADCO is called cyclic quadrilateral. So normally in cyclic quadrilaterals, the opposite angles are supplementary. We have angle AOC plus angle ADC should be equal to 180 degrees. They're supplementary. Therefore, you just say 180 minus 128 to get the value of angle X. So 180 minus 128 is equal to 52 degrees. So you will get this as 52 degrees because they are cyclic, is an angle in a cyclic quadrilateral, and an angle at the center was gotten by taking 64 times 2, which is an angle subtended by the same arc AC at the circumference is double the angle subtended by the same arc at the center. So the angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. So if you have 128 and you want the angle at the circumference, you take 128 divided by 2. But if you're given 64, you multiply by 2 because the angle A or C is double angle ABC. That's how you get it. And after getting that 128, it's supplementary with angle ADC. And you just say 180 minus 120 to get 52 degrees. Next question. So you write here your answer as 52 degrees. So the universal 8 times 10 power negative 1, 0.8, 0.8 recurring, 8% square root 0.08. And then we have these ones. And then you say set A. Set A is 0.08. 0.08 is less than A, and A is less than or equal to 0.8. And then set B. B is greater than 0.8. Therefore, we understand that an angle that will be at the center, it will be 8 times 10. This is what will be at the intersection, times 10 power negative 1, because it's both in both set. And then the set A will only have root 0.08. This is Venn diagram still. So here we just in the same topic of Venn diagram. And then we'll have 0.8 recurring on as set B only, and then 8% will be on the universal. That's it. You just fill in here. You just fill and understanding the decimal. Then question shade the region A union C. You see it's A union C intersecting B naught. So it means when you do that, don't shade anything in B. Shade everything but not intersecting. You have to show that you only shade A and C but not B, and you get your 1 mark. Let's go to the next question. Wow, This is called mensuration. In mensuration, we have area of cylinders, cones, we have pyramids, etc. But it's the same unit. Okay, now sphere. Yeah, sphere. We also have sphere there. So mixed, but here you just hemisphere, a half of it. So we just need to use the formulas. There's nothing much new. So a solid is made from a cylinder and a hemisphere, both of radius 4.3 centimeter. The cylinder has length 11.9. Calculate the volume of the solid. The volume, it's easy. Find the volume of individual. What's the volume of a sphere, of a hemisphere? This is the volume of a sphere. So the volume of a hemisphere will be 2 over 3 pi r cubed. If we need the volume of a hemisphere, we have to use this formula. So you just say 2 over 3 pi times r, which is 4.3 cubed. You get the volume on top of the hemisphere. Then what will the answer be? Just say 2 divided by, say 2 over 3. 2 over 3 times, you get that 166.4346533. That one, then you add, this is the volume cubic centimeter for the top part. Then you get for the cylinder, the volume of a cylinder. The volume of the cylinder now, volume of a cylinder is obviously easy. Area of the cross section, which is pi r times the height. So pi r, so pi times the radius, which is 4.3 square, times the height, which is 11.9 centimeter. So you say, when you add up totals, 691 plus 166, you end up where you add these total areas. To get the total areas, you end up with 857.7 cubic centimeter, and that's the answer. That's the answer depending on your answers there. And then you calculate the total surface area of the solid. Surface area is simple. The same you use the same formula. Just say a half times 4, because you're finding 4, and then pi, because it's a half of the sphere, times radius square. And we know our radius. What's our radius in the formula? The radius is 4.3, so multiply by 4.3 square, then plus, we take pi times, radius is 4.3 square, plus 2 times the pi times 4.3. This is the area of the curved line. Then you add together. When you add, obviously using your calculator, your answer, you'll get 496 as square centimeter, because that's the area. Here I've used calculator straight. You just do straight and get your actual answer. Let's go to the next question. Find an expression for the nth term of this sequence. So we have 1 over 7, we have 1, then 7, we have 49, 343. So this is geometric progression, and then, but we know it's in terms of exponent. In terms of exponents, because you say 1 over 7, then it's 1. What you need to know now, it's like 7 power n, and that n, because if you do 7 power n, you 7 power n, you end up getting 1. Then we assume that, for example, if n was 0, you get 1. If n was 0, but what happened for us to be able to get 1 over 7 in the first place here? So it means there was something less than, because it's the first, and the first one is the n should be equal to 1. If the first one, n, is equal to 1, why is it 1 over 7? That means it should be something less, so that you get a negative value. And anything less than that means it was 7 power negative 1, so that you get 1 over 7. So what comes to our mind, it means it has to be 7 and then n minus 2, so that this number will give you a negative 1. So this is the rule that has been used throughout the the pattern. So our answer is 7n minus 2. See, this is called the n rule. This is n rule, which you also need to review. This is expand and simplify. This is easy. It's also in the topic of algebra. Expansion. So you just expand each individual. X times x, you get x squared. X times that plus 5x. Then 3 times that, you get plus 3x. And then 3 times that, you get plus 15. And then what do you get? You get x squared plus 8x plus 15. And then 2x plus 1. Multiply this by this. 2x times that, you get 2x cubed. 2x times that, you get 16x squared. Then plus 30x. Then plus x squared plus 8x plus 15. Correct. Now you get 2x cubed plus 16x squared plus x squared is plus 17x squared. 30x plus 8x is 38x plus 15. This is the answer now. This is the answer of our equation. This becomes our answer. You get full marks. And then we go to question number 22. They say A is the point 17, 9 and B is the point 23, 9. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of line AB. Now, this is called coordinate geometry. Topic of coordinate geometry. So, find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of line AB. So the first thing, perpendicular bisector. So we should know that we have two things that we need to calculate in this question. One, we have to find the midpoint, whereby the perpendicular bisector will be passing. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, we need to find the gradient. So I'll start by finding the gradient of the line. So gradient line AB. So you say the gradient. So m, change of y. So 39 minus 9 divided by 23 minus 17. 39 minus 9 is 30. 23 minus 17 is 6. Therefore, m is 5. So we have the gradient as 5. Then the midpoint of AB. What's our midpoint? We know midpoint x1 plus x2, y1 plus y2. Correct. Now our x1, what's our x1 there? It's 17 plus 23. So we have 17. Our y1 is 9 plus 39. 17 plus 23 is 40 divided by 2. So 40 divided by 2. Then this is 48 divided by 2. So what do you get? We end up getting 20 and then 24. This is our midpoint. We now find we say if something is perpendicular, what happens? If you have one line is this, like this one, and then you have another line, this one, and they're meeting at 90 degrees. We say m1 and m2. The product of the gradient m1 times m2 should be equal to negative. This is the gradient. The gradient of m1 times m2 should be equal to negative 1. Therefore, so we have gotten the gradient as 5. So if it's 5, m2 is equal to negative 1. So divide by 5, divide by 5. The gradient of m2 should be equal to negative 1 over 5. Correct. Therefore, we go to equation y is equal to mx plus b or c. Y is equal to negative 1 over 5x plus b. So y is equal to negative 1 over 5 x. Now the x, we can choose any of the point. So we are going to use the point the midpoint. Our midpoint is 20, 24 to make the equation. So y is 24. Input there to get the intercept. Negative 1 times 20 plus c or b. Can use it as b. So what do you get here? You get negative 4 plus b is equal to 24. So take it the other side, b is 28. Therefore, your equation will be y is negative 1 over 5x plus 28. Wow, that's it. Question, the last question of this paper. So the small box is mathematically similar to the large box. The volume of the large box is 72.8% greater than the volume of the small box. The small box has length 3.5 centimeter and the large box has length x. Calculate the value of x. This is simple. So you just equate the volume to the volume, and it's simple. What you basically need to do to get the marks there, because we actually know similarity, length and length, volume and volume. So what you just do, you cube root 1 plus 72.8, because it's percentage out of 100 times 3.5, to be able to calculate the value of x, which is from the large box, yeah, from comparison. And therefore, if you do that, you will obviously end up, you can end up getting full marks, but you can as well also equate, say, x cubed over 3.5 cubed is equal to the same as 1.72 power 8 after simplifying. Then cross multiply. If you cross multiply, because when you cross multiply, that's when you end up in this scenario. So if you cross multiply, you get your value of x as 4.2, which is the answer. Calculate the value of x, 4.2. This comes from similarity, and we say volume should be equated to divided by volume, and should be equal to length cubed divided by length cubed. So you should understand this when it comes to comparison. That's a rule. So we believe that this length here is 3.5 and this is x. So if you're finding its volume, and then they say the volume of the large box is 72.8 greater than the volume of the smaller box. The smaller box has length 3.5 and the large box has length x. So we believe if we're dividing the length, x divided by 3.5 cubed should be equal to area. But remember, 72.8 greater than. So it means if that one was 100, this will be 1 plus 72.8. So it means it has to be 100 point something. So it means that's what you have to add 1 plus the other one, so that we get 172.8%. Because if this was 100%, if this is 100%, then this is 72.8 more. So it means 172.8%. That's you just comparison, then you evaluate and get your answer. See you at the top champion. This is Teacher Adam. I can't wait to see you in the next math class, and I'll be solving different kind of IGCSE papers just for you to enjoy learning and pass without struggling. See you at the top champion. Bye bye.